I'll bring my standpoint to it as a Mexican fan. Um, at this stage where you guys are at, me growing up, I'm 22. It was unthinkable that the U.S. was in a better state than the Mexican national team. I think for a brief moment, 3 years, I think you could make the argument.
Hmm.
Uh, Following that disaster after 2018,
Yeah.
3, 4 years where maybe five, where the U.S. imposed themselves in the area in CONCACAF. Do you think you guys have lost that a bit? Because it feels like Mexico has lost all that production in Europe in terms of players exported to Europe,
Hmm.
whereas the U.S. has done the opposite, where
Right.
you look at the U.S.'s list and everyone's in top leagues playing in European teams. It's not the case with Mexico, still as of right now. And you guys now have what a lot of people would consider a top manager in Mauricio Pochettino. Does it feel like, although, is it almost a circumstance or situation where it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back? Because it almost feels like the men's national team has taken steps forward. We talk about that dominance in CONCACAF, players to Europe, a top manager, but yet it almost feels like there's a lot of uncertainty, especially after Copa America and the Gold Cup, heading into hosting the World Cup. Do you feel a little bit of that?
I, I I think the biggest challenge for this country, as it always has been, we have to figure out a way. Um, and this is not knocking any other cultures that
Mm,
try to come in to teach us the beautiful game, but
yeah.
it's culturally, no matter how high I went in the game, and let's say I went higher in the game, I went in the statures of a Casey Keller type stature.
Mm,
I still don't think I could go to Brazil and teach Brazilians because I'm not part of that culture.
mm,
So it's for me, our struggle is we keep bringing in people, and you know, do they really understand the American culture? I don't know, but I think that's part of it. It's not just understanding football, but it's also understanding from the top down too, right? Like we've got all these kids. You would have think by now we would have produced a team that could win a World Cup, but are we finding the right players? Right, that starts at the top. Um, are the right players filtering up to the national team to find that? Is it happening at the grassroots level? Do we have the right people looking at the right players? Um, from that standpoint, I think a lot of it's cultural. We've had different nationalities. Um, and I think the women's side is an anomaly because you can say, oh, well, the women had foreign coaches and they've won it. It's
yeah.
different on the men's side.
Can I push back a little bit on that?
Yeah.
Greg Berhalter had the job
Yeah.
for the previous World Cup in Qatar. Um, I think the best result that the country produced was that draw against England, and then obviously making it to past the group stage. The feeling that I had from a neutral perspective was that a lot of U.S. fans were complaining that they had a talented player pool, but they were missing that manager, that they were missing a top manager, a world class manager. I didn't hear this from fans, and you may have felt this way before, but I didn't hear this from fans before Pochettino arrived. It was almost like they were clamoring and celebrating that Pochettino arrived. Um, would you agree with that? Where we were at a stage in 2022 where it felt like Berghalter, the American coach or manager, had a good group of players, a talented pool of players, and that wasn't enough, and they were just one manager, one coach away. And now you have it, and it almost feels like, especially after Copa America and the Gold Cup, and that wasn't under Pochettino, but there was a step taken back, and
Yeah.
Nations League as well, where things weren't achieved. Um, do you feel like that's a proper argument made from a neutral
I mean,
perspective?
I think at this level, change is tough. Um, and bringing in someone new, there's going to be adjustments. There's going to be adjustments to styles, um, what players he likes
Yeah,
versus the old regime.
yeah,
Um, I I don't negate the fact that he's a top manager and even other foreign coaches have come in.
Mm.
I guess the part that still keeps drumming in my head is we need someone who can come in and fuse this big melting pot that we have called America and come in and find the right players. Because sometimes it's not having the best players, it's finding the right combination of players. I think some of that is cultural. And
Yeah.
that's why I go back to that, like,
The connection and the understanding.
yeah, of our environment. And maybe it's so difficult to do because we are so many different cultural, even within America, right? We have Latino Americans and
Yeah.
Italian
The
Americans,
diversity.
and maybe for the love of the game, maybe we put it all aside one day and say, let's just be all Americans right now, so we can figure out the football part, right? Because even within the United States, there's a Latino culture that's different from
Yeah.
the American culture that's part of soccer.
And there's a constant battle between the two
Sure.
federations for the Obed Vargas, the
Yeah.
Julian Araujos. So the other side to that as well, and I like this conversation a lot. We talk about finding the right players. Players didn't want to report to Gold Cup. The players chose to not report to the Gold Cup, where this was your last official competition heading into such a big event. Knowing that it was your last proper timeline to work together, especially knowing that you have a new manager going into a once in a lifetime opportunity. Do you think Pochettino's not maybe given enough time, especially knowing that players didn't decide to show up? Your Pulisics, your Gio Reynas, your Musas, your Tim Weahs, your Robinsons. I mean, you can list a good amount of players that decided to not show up. What would the response be to that?
Well, I'm close to some circles that
Yeah,
some things I'm gonna refrain from commenting
yeah,
just to stay out of the politics.
yeah,
And I guess I'll just leave it with, at the end of the day, if we truly want to win a World Cup, we have to support. Like I said before, if soccer people don't support soccer, who will?
yeah.
So, that's just self-explanatory, right?
Yeah, yeah. I love it. Last one, last two parts to it. Who do you feel is going into the tournament feeling more optimistic about themselves? The Mexican Federation or the American one? And then do you is there a sense of panic within the American fan base and federation going into this tournament, speaking about the form and the controversy that has been surrounding this camp for the past really half year?
I mean, I don't know if I would call it a panic. I mean, I think true to the American spirit, when it's time to step on the field, hopefully people are going to show up, right?
Yeah,
And everyone's going to put their money where their mouth is.
yeah,
I'm not part of what's gone on in Mexico, why there was the drop. There
yeah.
seemingly a drop.
Yeah,
where
that's a whole nother topic.
there's
Yeah.
a shift, right? But I truly believe both federations they'll show up to compete and play. And at that level, there's so many different variables.
Yeah.
Even to win the whole thing, they have the FIFA rankings, but at the end of the day, there's so many different variables on who's going to come out on top.
Yeah. If you were to bet, though, if you were to put money on it, who do you feel more comfortable in? Who are you more optimistic with having a better display?
I mean, my loyalty says America.
Yeah.
I think both countries are in the fortunate situation that it's in our backyard.
Yeah.
Right? So I think
we get one here in Seattle.
I think that will help Mexico.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to be playing in there, and there's something different about you know, when you're in another country, but now in your own backyard, you got to go home the next day.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
Right. And same for the Americans. So hopefully people show up and they're ready to play.
For the record, Eddie's saying Mexico. I'm gonna get the jersey from back here. It's all funny games, man. It's all funny games. But Estadio Azteca is gonna be buzzing.
I'm hoping to see a game. My goal is to see one game in every country: Canada, Mexico, and USA.
Awesome. And we get one. The U.S. comes to Seattle.
Yeah.
So it'll be here, what, 2-3 blocks away from where we're at right now.
Where we're at.
That'll
right
be
now.
awesome.